Here she is, P. Ross.
Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Whoa. I didn't plan to start you with this song today. Welcome to Chat City. I'm your host, P. Ross. And I have in the building with me today Marvin Gaye, unexpectedly.
Right.
But that's okay. Hey, it is June. I'm P. Ross. You're listening to Chat City with P. Ross. And I have as a special guest with me today, Mr. Marcus Hackney of Vibe Band Music. Thank you for being here with me.
You're welcome.
This week, Mr. Marcus, you may have seen the ads out on social media that we were going to be in the studio on last week, but unfortunately we could not do that due to some unforeseen circumstances. But thank God we are here today.
Yes, we are.
Yes, and thank you again for traveling to come be with us here at the show.
You're welcome.
Today.
You're welcome.
Yes. But before we get started with Mr. Hackney and finding out all about him and Vibe Band Music, what we're going to talk about is some of the things that are happening in the world today. Let's talk about this Canadian wildfire that sparked a smog throughout that's coming down the East Coast. What do you think about that, Marcus?
It could be a little scary, you know what I'm saying? I had one of my sisters, I don't have any biological sisters, but one of my play sisters hit me up this morning like, "Do you got any smoke down there?" Whatever. I was like, "What are you talking about?" So I had to turn the TV on early this morning to see exactly what she was talking about, and I saw it, and I was like, "Whoa." You know, it could be scary, but hopefully that, you know, they can get things together because that could be tragic.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I saw some images. I've got family all in that area. I haven't talked to anybody yet. But I've seen images on social media and the news,
Right.
you know, comparing like the skyline of New York City before this and now what it looks like, just an orange haze, you know.
Right.
And it's like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
And there are some conspiracy theories out there, too. Have you heard any of those, Marcus?
I haven't heard any of those.
Okay,
I haven't
yeah.
heard any.
They're saying, be careful because the government, well, it's alleged. I'm not going to say, that, the government is doing this and the government is doing that.
Right.
I say you can't be too safe. I mean, you know, just pay attention and have things ready and available,
Right.
you know, just in case something is going on.
Yeah, she's in the Delaware area, so she told me that she could smell it really bad.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
was like, I couldn't smell anything from where I live, but she said that a couple of people from North Carolina said they could. So.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, that's what she told me. But
You
I'm
know,
like,
I think they're smelling just regular old North Carolina burning
weather
stuff in the backyard kind of thing, you know, because I was watching a news interview of, you know, there was a reporter interviewing a young lady who was in that area, and she said, it smelled like burning wood and burning smoke or whatever. And I was like, burning wood, that's a normal for us down here. I mean, in my neighborhood, man, my mother, she burned piles of wood all the time, or burn
or
trash
leaves,
or leaves or
right,
whatever.
exactly,
Yeah, that's a normal
exactly.
smell for me.
Exactly.
But then I've heard others say that they smelled some type of chemical smell with it as well.
Really?
Yes, I've heard that, like wires burning or something like that. So I was like,
It sounds strange, but
yeah,
I don't know.
things to make you go,
Right. Exactly.
You know, it's been a little over a week now. We lost an icon, Tina Turner.
Yes.
Tina Turner.
Yes,
Wow, that one hit hard.
Yes, that was terrible.
Yeah.
She was the ultimate performer.
Yes, she was.
Even at a late age, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh-huh.
I saw her, you know, she's doing a show in Vegas when I went to Vegas.
Oh, wow.
So she was doing one out there. I think she had a residency for like a while.
So you got a true Tina Turner experience.
I did, like with the whole band, not just like a little small band, but like she had the whole big band. It was awesome. It was
Wow.
awesome. It gave me a different respect for her music, because I only listened to a couple of songs like, you know, Private Dancer and things like that. But to hear the whole show, it was like, I didn't even know she had a vocal range like that, none of that stuff.
Oh,
She
really?
was,
Wow.
She was awesome. It was awesome.
I think a lot of us in our age group paid more attention, and I'm in the 50,
Gotcha.
you know, 50 plus.
Gotcha.
But we really paid attention to who she was when the movie came out.
Right.
And what's love got to do with it?
Right.
Man, we really paid attention to that,
Right.
and you know, from there we got to see behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
was really going on in her life. You know, her, with her husband.
Which was
who was-
a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. Now his family had came forth to say a lot of that was not true.
Really.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw a little interview with Judge Joe Brown the other day,
Oh yeah.
and he was saying that how good that Ike was. He wasn't saying like all
Right.
the bad things, but he was saying that how good Ike was allegedly. I'm just gonna say allegedly too, so I don't know him, but how good he was, and then how a lot of that what they said he was doing that she might have actually been doing, but
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
You
heard a
never-
little bit of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But man, this lady, I mean, she touched this earth with her
yes,
talent.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
and to like, you know, start out young with with Ike and the Tina Turner
Right.
review,
The review.
and then to have that lull in her career, and then to, you know, have the right management and the proper team to come
To
in and
bounce
say,
back.
hey,
Yeah.
try this.
Yeah.
You know, and at the age she did, then her, you know, she was known for her physique, I guess you could say.
Right.
The legs, beautiful legs,
Yes,
you
yes,
know, and
hmm
hairdo, you know.
Yep.
Excuse me. Yeah. So rest in peace, Tina Turner. You
Yes,
certainly left your
R.I.P..
mark
She did.
on
She
us
did.
here and those in the entertainment industry. You know, never forgotten.
Never.
Now she was she practiced a religion according to the movie, and I don't what is it, Buddhism or something like that.
Buddhist. She was a
She
practicing Buddhist.
You know anything about that?
I
religion?
try not to know about too many different
Other
ones.
religions?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of it, people say there's meditation though.
Uh-huh.
So I don't really know what else it,
Mm-hmm.
encouraged with that. But I know meditation, deep meditation, is a big part of it. But
Mm-hmm.
where that meditation takes you to, I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you think that we'll ever, you know, like people such as Tina Turner, Prince, Whitney Houston, they leave their mark, and you hear people say they will,
Right.
you will never get another Prince,
Nah.
Michael Jackson,
No.
Tina Turner. Will we ever get another Tina Turner?
No.
No.
I think some people are just one of ones. You know what I mean? Like there'll never be another Tina Turner, Prince. The closest I've seen to not even Prince. The closest I've seen to Michael Jackson would be Chris Brown.
Chris Brown.
As far as entertainment, like on the stage, dancing and performing, that's the closest I've seen to him. You know what I'm saying? And then to James Brown, the closest we've seen really is like Michael Jackson.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are one of ones. You know what I mean? Like with like Tupac and Biggie, those hip hop on the side of things. You'll never get anybody that would, touch the world like that. Even in their young age, they was only 25 when both of them died. So even in that, like they did more than most of the people who lived like 70 years old. You know what I mean? So I don't think we'll ever get anybody like that again.
Right. Tupac just got a star on
He
the
did.
Hollywood Walk of Fame.
He did.
You know what? I think it's well deserving of him too.
Yes. Very.
You know, changing subjects a little bit, coming off of Tina and going to Tupac. I remember seeing I think it was the first movie I ever saw him in, and that was Juice.
Juice. Exactly.
And when I was like, man, I think he was Juice. He was an actor before he was
Well, he was a rapper all the time.
Was
first,
he a rapper all the time? Okay, all right. I was gonna say, but I remember when I saw him in Juice, I was like, man, that guy's crazy for real. He did that role too good, you know.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I think-
They said a lot of him, that he had like two sides.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of us do too. You have that side that our normal side, with our family, that's joking and loving, and then you have a side that you have to protect yourself out here in this world that a lot of people might not want to see. Not to say it's on the trying to be a thug or nothing like that, but just a side that where you protect you and your family at all costs. Like that's why people say, you have two personalities or whatever, but it's just a side that we all have that's natural that should be, a natural instinct to protect what's yours or what's around you, what you love. But I think he just took it to like level 10 with his, you know what I mean? But he was only, he was only like 25 though. He was only
I know,
25,
right?
so people looking at like, he would be like 50 today. You know what I
I
mean?
know. Can you imagine a
So,
50-year-old Tupac?
Yeah, he wouldn't be doing the same things. He would, you know what I mean? Like he was already coming down or trying
Uh-huh.
to come down anyway,
Uh-huh.
changing his life, and he just got taken away from us, tragically.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he wouldn't be the same Tupac. You know what I'm saying? He'd
Uh-huh.
probably be some kind of, I don't know. He'd probably be in politics or something these days, the way he was moving. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh. Right.
So
Because he had that, his mom, Finney, was a
Right.
Black Panther,
Right,
and she
right.
definitely taught him about politics at a young age.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And it's a new couple of interviews out on YouTube with his actual real father.
Oh.
And he's telling a whole different story of who,
Uh-huh.
the person we knew as Tupac and why he wasn't around and things of that nature. So that would be good to look at on YouTube too. It gives you a whole different, perspective of how he saw Tupac and, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
things of that nature.
Right. He had ties to North Carolina.
Yeah, I do.
His oh, go ahead.
They say he actually buried in North Carolina. I ain't gonna say where.
Really, really.
But
Okay.
they say because his sister still lives down in that way too.
Uh-huh.
They still have a house down there.
Okay.
And his mom was actually going to a church down in the Fayetteville area
Right.
for a while. So
Right. I had a pastor that I was under, and he used to, he worked with a courier service. And there was a time or two where he would flash this watch at us and say, Tupac's mom gave me this.
Wow.
And and he was like, seriously, Tupac's mom gave me this,
Yeah.
and I believed him because somebody that I knew and was close to worked with a relative of
Gotcha.
Tupac. And he,
Gotcha.
I knew it then. Like, his mom is from, like, not far from where we are, know?
Wow.
So I was like, okay. And then I think it's come out over the years that, that he does have ties. Come out in the media that he does have ties to
Yeah, he
North Carolina.
does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Chat City with P. Ross. I am your host, P. Ross, and I'm delighted to have with me today Mr. Marcus Hackney. He is the founder of Vibe Band Music. We're going to talk more about what that is and who he is and his musical background. Right now, we're just touching on some other subjects. We are in the month of June, and June is also known as Alzheimer's Awareness Month and Brain Awareness Month. So I want to talk a little bit about that today because I do work closely with people who does have dementia. And, it's a terrible, terrible disease. It robs you of memory and other things, And
Right.
so let's talk about a little bit of that today. And the goal here is to educate the public about symptoms of the disease so that people can identify a loved one who may be developing it. Have you had any experience with that, being with anyone or being around anyone, Marcus, who has that disease?
No, I haven't. One of my friends, I know his mother does, but I haven't been around her actually to see how she acts with it. But he told me that, a couple of things of how she'd be forgetting things or whatever. So, but I haven't had firsthand experience of that.
Yeah, and it affects just it's just sad to see,
Right.
but you just don't know who it'll strike. But
True.
To give you some insight on it, it's a brain disorder that slowly destroys memory and thinking skills, and eventually the ability to carry out simple tasks.
Right.
All right. So according to WHO, which is the World Health Organization, 50 million people have this disease. The onset of the disease can start between the ages of 30 years old and 60 years of age.
Wow.
And I'm thinking back to about probably 20 years ago when I had this friend in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. She was a few years older than me. So that takes me back to about age 30. I guess for some reason she went to her physician and they told her she had like an early onset of that. And so
Wow.
we were about 30 something years of age.
Got you.
That's
Wow.
scary
That's
to
real
me.
scary.
And I've lost contact with her since then. I mean, we were, just life and living in different cities. But I specifically remember her telling me that. And she was like going through the man, I'm not going to remember how to pump some gas or something like that.
Right,
You know, she
right,
was
right.
talking like that, you know.
Wow.
But I hope that's not the case for her now.
Yeah.
Causes of this disease are abnormal protein deposits that damage brain cells, head injuries, and family genetics. These are some of the causes there. Symptoms include memory loss, disturbed sleep, changes in mood, delusions, obsessive behavior, repetitive or impulsive behavior, and problems such as speech or language.
Wow.
These are some of the symptoms. Okay. Preventions, because there is no cure. Preventions would be exercise, engage in social activities, healthy diets, quality sleep, and stop smoking. Stop smoking.
Wow.
All right. So these are some of the things that may help you not get Alzheimer's. Now, there are some treatments, although there is no cure. Medications to assist you in those brain injuries or that brain disease. Self-care. Make sure you're in a safe environment, or that person that has that disease be in a safe environment. Keep phones and wallets and keys in the same place for that person who may have this disease. You know, just keep it to where it'll help them remember where they left something or where they normally keep something.
Gotcha.
And also consult specialists such as neurologists, psychiatrists, and psychologists. Okay, we're talking about this is June. It's Alzheimer's Awareness Month, and we're just talking about some things, if you're just tuning in, about this disease, and we're talking about treatments and things to look out for. Okay. Also, in a treatment process, you can help people by maintaining mental functions and include them in decision making and in conversations. You know, just don't leave them out. Don't treat them differently or funny. You know, be patient with them. If they repeat themselves or ask you the same thing over and over again, give them a little exercise to help them remember, you know, what you just said, or, you know, kind of lead them into helping. Like, for instance, if that Alzheimer's person say, where are you going today? Oh, I'm going to work. And then about 5 seconds later, they ask you, where are you going today? And you say, I am going to, or I said that I was going to, and just kind of pause and see if they can remember. You know, give them that little brain game. Exercise. That's correct. All right. Moving right along. There's some other things going on in the month of June, but I'm not going to speak on them. But there is a subject that I do want to talk about.
Okay.
Marcus, men and women sports. Biological men and women's sports. How do you feel about that?
Oh, man. I have some cousins that will whoop a man in basketball.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Some women cousins. So, but so I'm for it. I'm for it.
Okay.
The national championship between LSU and Iowa was a good way to go look at where women's sports are headed. That was like they said that was the better game than actually the men's tournament in the final. So they said they had like I don't know if it was 4 million or 400 million people watching, one of those two. But it was like the highest watched sports event, men or women, ever. So it made me look at women's basketball a little different. I always respected it, but it made me look at it, a little bit more, that women might need to be making the same things as as the fellas. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree on that.
Yeah. So a lot of them are doing, I can't remember what it's called now, but how they're getting paid to be actually when they're actually in college now from the endorsements or whatever. So a lot of them saying they're not even ready to go to the WNBA because they're making more money in college than probably they'll be making in the WNBA.
Okay.
So I can respect that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Now, what about men who are now transgender and want to get into the game with women? Well, I'm going to start.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start with that one. I think it's wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say I'm not gonna dance around it. I just think it's wrong. I feel like, and these are just my opinions, not opinions of anyone else. These are just my opinions. All right. And if you want to call and talk about it, you can. 919-899-9305. We'll take your call. Throughout history, men have proven to be stronger than women. But like you said earlier, you know, there are some women that can dominate over men in sports, you know. But let's say, for instance, I'm 6'1", and I played basketball when I was in high school.
Right.
I guess then I was thinner than what I am now. Maybe 100, and I would give me 130, 35 pounds. If there was a man or a male that decided he wanted to become a woman and do the same thing, you know, play basketball against me, I think he would overpower me.
Oh, for real?
And then,
for sure.
and like in track, and I think he would outrun me. You know, even though track and field is not. I mean, I did some field events, but I just don't feel that it's fair to women.
Yeah, that's like if you was on the court and you saw a Michael Jordan in his prime or Kobe Bryant in his prime coming to play against you, that wouldn't be fair.
Right. So if Michael Jordan decided he wanted to be transgender and do it, that's his business.
That's his business.
But if he wanted to play against who, you know.
I'm trying to think of a woman.
Let's say Michael Jordan when he was playing at Carolina.
Right.
You know. And he wanted to switch teams. He wanted to go play for the women.
Right. That's not fair.
That's not fair.
At all.
You know, you want to talk about it, call me 919-899-9305. You know, but now there was a young lady that I know. Hadn't seen her in many years. I could tell when we were younger, she was a little, you know, like she liked football. That was a little different, you know, because the girls in my neighborhood didn't care too much for football.
Right.
But you know, when we connected later on in life through Facebook, we don't keep in touch that much now. I mean, you know, she mentioned that she was on a football team. I'm like, huh? You know, and I'm like, oh, okay. She took, you know, that followed her throughout life.
Wow.
My thing is, okay, if transgender is becoming a prominent thing, create your own thing. Create your own basketball team.
Your own league.
Or your own league. Yes, that's what I say.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do. That's how it should go.
That's how it should go.
Because it wouldn't be fair any other way.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
And how would you change clothes as women in there with he's still a man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's what I say too.
I agree with you on that.
All right. And vice versa. All right. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Chat City with P. Ross. I am your host, P. Ross. I'm delighted to have with me here today Mr. Marcus Hackney. He is the owner and leader of Vibe Band Music. Marcus, I had the pleasure of working with you on last Friday down in Aberdeen at an event. He kicked off my very first R&B nights down there. And, man, a great band you have there, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
But tell us a little bit about who you are and Vibe Band Music.
Vibe Band Music, we do all genres. I started it in like early 2005 under a different name because we basically came out of the church like most bands.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody that I have in my band actually still is in church every Sunday morning. Like we don't miss Sunday mornings. You know what I mean? Like I'm the organist and keyboard player at my church. My secondary keyboard player, he's the same thing in his church. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a bass player. You know, he's in church. So everybody's still in church, but we do R&B, soul, you know, music. On Fridays and Saturdays most of the time. We really don't do anything on Sundays unless it's a Sunday evening thing. You know what I mean? Like a conference or whatever. But started in like 2005, you know, putting out some gospel music and stuff like that. And we just slowly kept getting asked to do weddings. You know how that goes. Weddings and things of that nature. So then we started getting asked, can you play at this lounge or that lounge? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it just slowly drifted into us doing both genres. So I changed the name in like 2016 to Vibe Band Music. And, you know, did my LLC and all that good stuff. So Yeah, so we've been doing that lately. Hadn't put out any music under Vibe Band Music, gospel or R&B, but I have a gospel project that I did last year
Mm-hmm.
in the studio, a live project, and just almost finished that. I got like two more songs waiting on the vocalist to come do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna put that out in August, and then we'll put like two singles out on the another genre side for Vibe Band Music later on around probably like Christmas. Probably put out a Christmas single
Okay.
on the R&B side, something like what Luther Vandross would do,
Uh-huh.
that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's about
What
it.
was if you don't mind me asking, what was the former name of Vibe Band Music?
I'm trying to remember.
Okay.
Trying to remember. Because when we started, it had my name in front of it, and I didn't like it because I don't sing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? We was up under like Truly Anointed one time
Okay.
with my name in front of it, and then I think that's the only one I did, like Truly Anointed.
Okay.
People used to call us TA for short.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for a long time, and then I just turned it into Vibe Band Music.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what we are now.
All right. You said you don't sing, but let's talk
No.
about the instruments that you play and how you began
Okay.
with that.
I started on drums, probably like everybody
Okay.
that's been a musician. Then I went to bass, and they were just a little boring to me. You know what I'm saying? As instruments, not that that's a boring instrument, but to me it was.
Uh-huh.
So started messing around, on the keyboard. My grandmother was singing, songs or whatever. So learned hymns and things like that of the church from her. You know what I mean? And my mother, and my dad, my mother and my father sing really well. I don't do
Okay.
that.
Uh-huh.
And so I just got on the keyboard, and that's what I've been doing ever since. I went from keyboard to organ, and then I learned the production side of things from a guy up here in Raleigh at his studio named Rodney, and he taught me how to actually produce music. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
He sat me in there and was just like, watch these videos. You know what I'm saying? So I did that all day, like 8 hours one day. Came back the next day, did it again, and after that, I had it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So I just been, learning from different people. You know what I'm saying? Through hand to hand through the years, but that's how I learned. You know what I'm saying? That's what we've been doing.
So you said you started as a drummer, and
I
it got
did.
kind of boring
It
to
was
you,
boring
right?
to me.
All
It
right.
was.
So how old were you when you started with the drums?
I had to be like 7,
Uh-huh.
6 or 7, and then it was like a one after the other. Then my dad bought me a bass, and I messed with that for a while and got bored.
Uh-huh.
Then they bought me a keyboard. It was from Radio Shack when it was with, I remember that. It was a Radio Shack keyboard, little tinker tink thing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I learned on that, and one day in church, this guy, I played a song. It's like the only song I could play too, and he gave me a solo, and it just went from there. You know what I'm saying? His name was Kelvin Crump. He's from Moncure, North Carolina. He
Moncure.
gave me a solo at Liberty Chapel, CC, I think it's UCC Church.
Uh-huh.
And from then on, you know what I'm saying, him and this guy named Larry Murray,
Uh-huh.
they would let me play a little bit, and I just went from there, yo.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, that's how it happened.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Now, I have a little confession. I wanted to learn drums. I've always wanted to learn drums.
Why?
Like, why?
Yeah. What
They
what
look
is it
cool,
about?
man.
They look cool.
Drummers are cool back there with, behind the band. To me, if you don't have drums,
It's
to
the
me, it's
heartbeat.
like you don't have anything
Yeah,
else.
it's the heartbeat. It's the heartbeat of the band.
Uh-huh.
That and the bass, those two instruments have to lock with each other for it to feel good. You know what I mean? That makes you want to listen to the music. You know what I'm saying? Everything
right.
else is just colors and paint and candy around that. But
Uh-huh.
the bass and the drums are very, very. They have to lock. It's the heartbeat.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? He's not my real brother, but we call each other brothers. But Chesley Allen, he could really teach you how to play. Like he left Raleigh, North Carolina, and went on to play for some big artists. He living out in California now. So people like that, those are people I will learn from because they don't just play drums. They know how to produce, and they know how they know how the electronic drums too. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to have like the claps, the snaps, the little 808s. They're not just up there just playing the drum kit. Like they incorporate all of that, all of those sounds with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These days, you have to do that as a drummer. You can't just get on and play drums.
Right.
You can, but you're just gonna be noted for only that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
Now, you mentioned Moncure, North Carolina.
mhm.
We had a guest on this show. I'm going to see if you know this name. Darnell Showcase Taylor.
Yep,
Yeah, we had
Yep.
him here on the show.
he's
Yeah.
amazing. He's
We want to give a shout out to
Amazing.
Mr. Darnell Showcase Taylor. Yeah, he's traveled around and he's doing some
Everybody.
great
Yeah,
things. Yes,
yeah.
he is.
I'm trying to get to that level.
You will.
Darnell.
Darnell, we calling on you. Okay. All right. How was it, your very first performance on the keyboards, and where was that at?
My very first performance was at, like I told you, the guy gave me the solo,
Oh,
Kevin
yeah,
Crump, that
yeah.
day.
Uh-huh.
And it was
Oh,
awesome.
that's right. I'm sorry. I
It was,
asked that over.
it was awesome.
Mhm.
But after that, I had to learn, because I was just soloing, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But after that, him and Larry Murray, they really taught me the structure of like chording, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know how to chord that well at that time. So they would just give me a solo, let me get off a little bit. But they really taught me the structure of, learning how to play the instrument the right way. The things that'll keep you working and getting you paid these days,
Yeah.
they taught me that.
Okay. So you play for Black Church.
Hmm
All right.
I've done both,
so,
though.
okay, you've done both. All right. Give me a comparison to playing when you say meaning a Caucasian church, or the differences between the Black church and the white church.
Pros. You want pros and cons? or
Yeah,
just
you can
want-
give me pros and cons.
The pros are that check will be there when you get there.
Okay.
Not all black churches are most of them that I've dealt with, they've done right by me. But I've heard some horror stories too.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Caucasian churches, if it starts at 10, it's gonna start at
It's
10.
gonna start at 10.
If you say you get out at 11:30, 11:30, you're out. Not about to get out. You know what I'm saying? But it's a structure. But a lot of them, but they do have big experiences. I don't know if you've been to like the contemporary Caucasian church. Like it's an experience mostly. Like big lights. You know what I'm saying? Big sound.
Screen lights.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a whole production. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that sound is gonna be right. You know what I'm saying? Like everything, you're gonna be able to hear everything. It's like the Caucasian church puts more time in, you know what I mean?
Yes.
To the aesthetics of everything, so there's no problems during the service. You know what I'm saying? You have little glitches, but they make sure everything is tip top. They're gonna make sure you got the tip top keyboard you want, the tip top drum. You know what I'm saying? Like state of the art. So you don't have anything, I don't want to say to complain about, but you know what I'm saying? Nothing that you really want to ask for. Everything's basically already there. You know what I'm saying? And the service just, it moves, you know what I'm saying? There's not a lot of stoppages for things, you know what I'm saying? You can go to ones that, like, when they're worshiping, that's that big worship moment, doing praise and worship. That's where you get all of that at. Like, once the pastor gets up, it's the teaching moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a lot of breaking away from that at most of the Caucasian churches, you know what I'm saying, that I've experienced. But, so the cons is the business part, I should say, is always in play. You know what I'm saying? It's always on 100. We don't always do that.
Meaning us black folks.
Yeah,
All right.
we don't always.
We don't always do that. So that's something we need to improve on.
True.
I agree.
True.
I'm a former church musician.
Yeah, I know you was telling me the
Yeah.
other night, so I know I'm not just
I
talking.
know you're not
you know,
just talking.
you know,
No.
so. But even in the world of like getting booked for like how you booked us, it was a pleasant experience.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to give myself a house
You should.
applause.
You
Okay.
You should. Like what you said you was gonna do, you did. You know what I mean? Like, but some experiences, you get there, is hey, I didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't give me any excuses of who came, who didn't come, what you did or what you didn't do. You know what I'm saying? What you
Yes.
said was there. You know what I mean? And I can respect that and appreciate that.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank
real.
you. Thank you for
ma'am.
acknowledging that as
Yes,
well.
ma'am.
Appreciate that. Okay, so now, Vibe Band Music. And before I say any more, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Chat City with P. Ross. We're on Oak 93.5 FM here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And Marcus Hackney is my guest today of Vibe Band Music. This is a group he started. It's an LLC behind it. And he's been talking to us today about this. But we're going to hear a little bit more about Vibe Band Music. Tell us about your group, sir.
Consists of myself. We call him Pablo, but I ain't even gonna say his government because he don't like using it. So I'm gonna say Pablo. He's on the bass. I have my guy Mark Moore. He's from Florida, but he lives in Charlotte now. He's with us sometimes, but he got a family and they just had a baby and stuff. So
Okay.
he's with us sometimes, and sometimes he's not. He does a lot of talk box and synthesized voice stuff. He's real good at that. We have Trayshawn on the drums. Trayshawn is also a bass player too. He tours a lot with Tim Rogers on the bass. So he's with us sometimes. We have a guitar player, name's Thomas. He's good. But I don't have a lead singer like permanently. You know what I mean? I don't have that at this time. My brother Derek Jermaine, he was with us for a while, but he does a lot of stuff in Atlanta and Chicago, stuff with his job and producing and things for other people. So he's not able to be with us all the time. It's like now he's getting ready to leave and he won't be back until August. So I just try to, hire people to be the lead vocalist for that day, like our special guest, even though we have a show as a band. None of us sing. You know what I'm saying? So I have to get a vocalist.
You know what was asked of me the other night?
What's that?
Do any of the musicians sing?
No.
I'm going to tell you who asked me that.
Who that?
The owner of the venue.
Ah.
The wife of the owner of the venue.
Got you.
Yeah. She
Got
said,
you.
do any of them sing?
No.
And I said,
No.
I don't think so. I don't know. Let's
Nah.
wait and see.
I can write music and give you the parts and stuff, but singing on stage, no. No. I let the professional people that do that. I don't believe in. I'm a type of person. If you can do it, do it. If you're not, I'm not gonna give you any false. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't believe in giving people false. I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to say. Any kind of false. Yeah, you can do that. You know what I mean? Like, nah. If you can't, I think you should do what you were born to do on this earth. Like, people are like, I want to sing, but you can't. So why would you want to keep doing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
keep doing that. Like, you know what I mean? False hope. I don't give people.
So how do you handle this now? You have your musicians. Most of them are permanent with you, or
Yes.
a majority of them are.
Majority.
Okay, and you don't have a lead vocalist. How do you conduct your rehearsals?
We basically do what we call the normal songs you're gonna hear on the radio.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if I say I'm gonna do, this a '90s, you're gonna hear mostly Mary J. Blige, Brandy. You know what I'm saying? If I say I'm gonna do, we love even with the '90s, you still can do like Luther Vandross and people like that because they still were kind of putting out music or still touring in the night. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of build around that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's called like just basically doing the music that you hear on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Show tunes or whatever you want to call it. So it's not hard to rehearse and know what you're really hearing or what people want to hear if you're in tune with, you know what I'm saying, the radio or, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Going to concerts. So I basically rehearse off of that, but I do ask the vocalist, like, what do you want to do? You know what I mean? And they can give me the songs they want to do. But I try to do like, say if we do a Mary J. Blige, I want to do that number one, not the song that you like to hear in the car.
Right.
You know what I mean? I like to do what people would be like, oh, I remember that, like Real Love or something like that people actually know that they can get with. If you do Luther Vandross, of course you're going to do, House Is Not a Home, stuff like that people know. You know what I'm saying? Not like Luther's song he had on his album that nobody listened to.
Right.
You don't want to do that.
So it'll be easier for your vocalist to come in and just fit right in the band. And if they're that talented, it
Right.
shouldn't be any problems, right?
If they do this for real, they know the songs I'm talking about, and we know the songs that they're talking about. So it can be, Now sometimes it can be a, little debate, but you know what I mean. Like normally it comes together, and we do real good with that.
Yeah, I've seen some of your clips, your videos and stuff, and you've got some great. You've worked with some great, talented vocalists.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like one vocalist that we're using tomorrow night. We use her a lot too. Her name is Alicia Lawson. We call her Alicia.
Alicia.
'Cause she's
Okay.
toured with Fantasia and stuff like that, so she knows. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like what she's doing on stage. Like she has the total package: the voice, the performance, the presence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're in Greensboro tonight. We have a show in Greensboro tomorrow night, and she's doing that
Okay.
with us. And then next Saturday, she's with us too at this place called Uptowns in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh yeah. I've
So-
seen your performances and videos with. I think she's been to Uptowns with you guys before, right? Because
Yes, ma'am.
I think of course, when I search.
Right.
And I
right,
saw
right.
that, that she had ties to Fantasia,
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
here in North Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I said on the show a couple of weeks ago. North Carolina is blessed with some very talented
Right,
people.
right, right.
Very talented artists.
Just
here.
not getting those breaks like everybody else. You kind of gotta have to leave to go to wherever you know what I mean? The stage is like, you got, Charlotte is good. You know what I'm saying? That's a big
Right.
stage up there too. But you kind of have to move, like California, Atlanta, where things are popping at, where you can actually get put on. You know what I'm saying? Then you probably can move back after that and still work.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you're listening, just tuning in, you're listening to Chat City with P. Ross. I'm your host, P. Ross. We're on 93.5 FM, WRLY, Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm talking to Marcus Hackney. He is the founder of Vibe Band Music, and he's been sharing with us what he does with his group, his band. Okay. All right, Marcus. Tell me about some other things about yourself.
Oh man, I'm really a simple guy. You know what I'm saying? Music is what I do all the time. So if I'm not doing that, you know what I'm saying, I help run a security company too.
Okay.
With one of my friends. So that's going real good. So with at a cancer place. So helping doing security stuff over there. But music is really what my everyday thing is that I do. That's just me. I'm a simple guy. You know what I'm saying? Ain't much to say about me, yo. I'm quiet most of the time. I can't believe you got me here talking. I was trying to get somebody to come up here with me, but, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't happen that way. So,
Yeah, that's okay.
But yeah, just a simple guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk too much. If I know you, I talk to you. If I don't, I'm probably not gonna say nothing to you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But once you get to know me, you'll see that people think I'm mean because I don't talk a lot, but I'm not. I'm just if I don't know you, I don't say nothing to you. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But
Are you an only child?
well, yes, I am.
Okay. All
Yes,
right. I
I am.
noticed you said you will mention a person and say, they're my brother or they're my sister, but not
Oh
really.
yeah, not really.
No.
No.
Yeah.
I'm the only child. You know what I'm saying? But I do. You know what I'm saying? I have 3 daughters. You know what I'm saying? 1 son. But they all grown though. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old guy.
You're an old guy. You don't
I'm
look
an
old.
guy. I know. But thank you for that. But I am.
All right.
I am.
Well, we're going to give you a shout out to your family there.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, you said both of your parents was in the music, or they have talents, concerning music and things of that nature. So that's probably where you got your inspiration to go on with what you do as well.
They were singers, but they never played anything. But they sung in church a lot,
Okay.
duets and things of that nature.
And you grew up where?
Actually, just really grew up in New Hill, North Carolina.
New Hill,
Moncure.
North
All that's the same.
Oh, okay.
Sanford, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? All that's
All
the
right.
same. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but my dad traveled as a working on a railroad or whatever. So he was always gone. But between church or whatever, like he'd be everywhere. You know what I mean? I've been on the road a whole lot, so I don't want to say I've lived everywhere, but I done almost lived everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
So it's been good.
Okay. All right. Now, you mentioned church. And like you said, a lot of musicians start at church. They get a start at church.
Yeah.
But they tend to branch out because there's no, pay from the church that's satisfactory to the musician who puts in a lot of hard work.
Right.
That was one of the things I was going to mention about the black church.
True.
Now the black church has I'm going to say even back in the day, because when I was growing up in black church, you had all these different choirs. They couldn't just have one choir. You had 50 million choirs and expect one musician to play and rehearse and practice and go everywhere with
Right.
all the many choirs, and then you get $50 or nothing, or a love offering or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I don't think it's as you know, the church used to frown upon musicians or anybody in the church that went outside of the church to play in
Yeah.
a club, bar, or you know, took something like a gig,
A gig,
so
right,
to speak,
gigs, right,
something
right.
that wasn't religious. But now it doesn't seem to be such a bother to the church. Do you agree with
I
that?
agree. I agree.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of the, and I'm not fronting on the church now, but a lot of the praise and worship leaders sing in those places these days because they trying to still, you know what I mean, to eat also. Now I don't believe in. I don't want to say that. I don't think it's a problem because music is kind of like universal of the feeling of music. You know what I mean? And a lot of the church music, you know what I'm saying, came from like the blues and you know things of that nature. But I don't believe going in just playing. I haven't played in a lot of clubs. You know what I'm saying. It's mostly been lounges or restaurants, weddings, things like that. Clubs, I don't even know if clubs really call on bands. You know, they mostly call on DJs.
DJs,
but
right.
but like lounges, a lot of those places like that, they'll call on a live band. You know, for that experience of live and you know what I mean, the intimate thing between. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the lounges, it's gonna be a small place, and you can almost touch the person. So I think that's why they call on bands mostly. But clubs, I don't. Unless they're bringing a big artist in, and you probably won't get a call for. To with your band from a club. They basically just gonna use the DJ. You know.
Yeah. Now, I'm a firm believer in being that I am a Christian.
Right.
I'm a firm believer you do have to pay attention what you are putting out there.
Yes.
No matter what you're playing,
Yes, you do.
you know, and who
do.
you're playing for.
You do.
I think, and music today, you know, sometimes we don't pay attention to the lyrics,
Right.
and words are powerful.
Right.
And you have to be careful what you put out in the atmosphere.
True.
You know,
True.
so I have been
True.
guilty and convicted of some things when I decided to get into the entertainment business
Right.
of what I was putting into the atmosphere.
Right.
And because of that, you know, relationships, working relationships have broken up.
Gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha.
because I'm like, no, we can't do this, or no, I don't want that. You know, as the
Right.
person being in charge. You
Right.
know, and
Right.
you know, it just wasn't. It was frowned upon what I was asking.
Right.
But with that said, Marcus, I prepared some things today to kind of help us out a little bit. I don't know if you feel the same way about what I just mentioned.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no,
and it's
no,
okay
no.
if you don't.
No, I do.
You know,
I
but-
like the age limit you put on. I don't want to say the age limit you put on, but like the age that you said that you would rather have. You know, when you did the flyer the other day, we already knew what kind of crowd that would bring. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So you wouldn't have those problems that you probably would have from the younger.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
like when I was young, I did crazy stuff too. Like so, I know where they're at mentally. You know what I'm saying? But today's crowd, the younger crowd, is just a whole different level of. You know what I'm saying? When they get mad. You know what I'm saying? But I knew what you was doing. Like it's playing. It's really safer to have that age limit that you had up there.
Yeah.
You know, it's harder to kind of get them out sometimes, but it was really the safest thing I think for you to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know what?
With
There's a
that.
prominent DJ, recording artist, nationally known, world known, I was talking to, and he told me, he said, you know, because I was asking about booking him, and he said, I don't come if they're under 40.
Oh wow.
I said, okay.
Wow. Wow.
You know? And I'm
Wow.
not going to call his name, but, you know, he's very well known, popular music and
Wow.
everything. He said, I don't come if it's under 40. Even though, but here's the interesting side. I mean, his music and his lyrics, you know,
Right.
they're
right.
not the cleanest in the world.
Right,
but
right, right.
you know, but for safety
For
reasons,
safety reasons.
in the African American community where it seems to be the problem,
Truth.
you know, he
True.
said, I don't come if it's
Wow.
under 40. I
Wow.
said, I understand.
I understand though. But you had
Yeah.
a pleasant crowd at your event though. Like it wasn't you know what I'm saying, how you didn't have
Yeah.
any argument, you didn't have anything going crazy. You know what I'm saying? But if you probably would have dropped that price, I mean not that price, but that age limit
Yeah.
a few more
Yeah.
years. You know, telling what would happen. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Especially
Right.
like kinda like when it's over people, how people kinda try to gather around and be standing outside waiting, you know, hanging out. Like when you have a 40 and up crowd, like when it's done, They
It's
go
done.
home.
We're going to the house.
They going home.
Uh-huh.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
To watch their shows or to kind of get it ready for the next day. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Now, look, I'm going to do this little exercise with you. Not a big exercise, but we're going to
Okay.
play this little thing here where music that you didn't know was dirty.
Oh, wow.
Okay? A couple I was shocked at, all right?
Okay.
And I'm just going to see, I mean, some are just obvious, you know, but we're just going to, few songs that you just didn't know was dirty. But
Okay.
this one, I got a little funny story behind it, and I'm just going to play little snippets. My father gave me this album, and I did when I was like about 12 or 13 years. No, I'm gonna say 13 or 14 years old. May God rest his soul. But he gave me this album, and I just didn't pay it. I didn't pay attention to lyrics back then. I was
Okay.
just, feeling good to the music,
Right, right.
And so, but we're gonna play our first one, a little bit snippet of this one, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. What's that song, Marcus?
That's Marvin Gaye. For real.
Yes, it is.
That's Marvin Gaye.
All right. Sexual healing. I thought about it some years later. I was like, man, why did my daddy give me this?
Right,
like-
right.
I don't think he meant any harm, but did you give your 13-year-old the Sexual Healing album by Marvin Gaye? I think he was really, I just think he was appreciating the artist and the music.
Yeah, exactly. That's what first captures you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The music.
I agree. I
Exactly.
agree. We're trying to help you out there, okay?
Right. Right.
Things you don't want to play to your 13-year-old, all right?
Right.
Okay, here's another one. This is one of my favorite songs back in the day.
Taxi! Taxi!
Are you capturing that one?
I'm trying to figure out who that is.
I'll give you a hint. The purple one.
Yeah, that is. He's just one that was just saying taxi. That is Prince.
Yes, it is Prince. But have you heard all the? Are you familiar with that song, Lady Cab Driver?
No.
Man, go back and listen to this.
As soon as I get in my truck, as soon as I get in my truck, I'm gonna find it and
Okay.
I'm going to listen to it because I don't like not knowing. I've never heard that by Prince before ever.
That intro, I love it, and I'm ready to boogie with it. But then, you
It
listen
gets
to
crazy.
it, and when it
Oh,
gets to
wow.
the very, very end, songs you don't want to play.
Oh, wow.
You don't want your 14-year-old to hear. Okay, all right. Here's another one, and this one was remade by TLC. Okay,
Okay.
here we go.
Oh,
You know that one?
yeah. Somebody else was remember that synth line is on somebody else's song too.
Uh-huh.
I just don't know. Prince that's Prince synth line too.
Right. So that is Morris Day and the Time.
Oh wow.
Morris Day and the Time. The song is Get It Up.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
It was written in 81, but Prince wrote it, I do believe.
I knew it had to be because I think that's one of his synth lines on another song too.
Uh-huh.
But it slowed down a lot more.
Okay, you ever paid attention to the lyrics in that song?
Nope, I'm going to
Okay.
listen to him today.
Songs that you didn't know was dirty. Because actually, when I heard that song, I just thought, get it up.
Right.
And for real.
Oh no, I've heard that. I've heard
time.
that song, but
So-
I've never listened to the lyrics though.
Yeah.
I haven't paid
I'm
attention.
telling you, pay attention to the lyrics,
Wow.
okay?
Wow.
Songs you didn't know was dirty.
Wow.
All right, here's another one. Now, I was totally blown away by this one. I didn't know until the other day.
Oh yeah, I knew that.
So you knew that was a dirty song? You did?
I did.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna give you a house applause because I didn't know.
No, dirty song.
I didn't know Tutti Frutti was a dirty song.
Yeah, he kind of like when they had him in the James Brown movie, he kind of hinted to it a little bit too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If you go back to that little section in the movie where he was performing, and then James Brown them came,
Okay.
he kind of hinted to that a little bit too when he was talking to him
Okay.
at the hamburger stand.
Is this the one where Leon played Little Richard?
No, it was another. It was the
Another
James
actor?
Brown movie. The
Oh.
Get On Up movie. If you go back and look at the little back and forth that him and James Brown had, the little scenes, they were he was kind of hinting to that then.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
outside the hamburger stand when he was talking to Little Richard about,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Here's another one, and this is one of my favorite songs to this day. I mean, okay, but it's a little dirty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we knew that one.
You knew that one was dirty.
I did.
I was listening to that song when I was. Okay.
But the remake of it really lets you know it's dirty.
Oh, really?
I can't remember who remade it.
Is it Christine Aguilera?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Christina Aguilera.
All right. I mean, I love the song. I mean, I love the lyrics.
Right.
You know, I can do without. And I'm like, what? When I was in high school, one of my classmates whose father taught French, whose dad was also my basketball coach, told me then that song was dirty. But I'm like, what? You know,
Wow.
he said, my dad said she's saying something dirty in French or whatever. From what I remember, and that was a long time ago. But that's at that moment. But prior to then, I didn't know that was a dirty song.
Yeah.
Okay. And let's see. I thought I had one more up here, but I don't. So, but anyway, songs that you didn't know was
Wow.
dirty. All right. So we got to be careful, I think, again, what we put in the atmosphere.
True,
You know,
true.
and sometimes I try to change up lyrics, you know, and make them fitting for what, you know, it's not so bad.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's
right,
what I
right.
do. Yeah. Marcus, you also said you write music.
I do.
Okay. Tell us about that.
The most stuff that I wrote though has been praise and worship, gospel music. Just started really putting my hand into, taking it serious in writing R&B / soul music. You know what I'm saying? Which is a little harder for me to write. I don't know why, but it's really harder for me to actually finish a whole song or a whole verse of that genre for some reason. But I have a little team of writers that I work with that's been helping me along with that side of it. So you know, writing can be and writing is relaxing for me too. So I might write a song I never put out, but it's just, you know what I'm saying, at the moment it's like I had to write that. Whether it turns into poetry or it actually comes out as a song with verses, I still have to write it. You know what I mean? Yeah, so writing is a lot it's therapeutic for me too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of stuff I write, I don't just write with the pen. Like I type it. You know what I'm saying, in my phone. But it's just something different when like writing with a pen. It's like more therapeutic than just like getting on your laptop or iPad. You know what I'm saying? Typing a song out. It's a little bit different in the mind for me to. I like it better just using a pen instead of typing out a song. Put it that way.
Yeah. All right. Now, looking at your social media page, you recently mentioned that you had you wrote a complaint about a complaint of a radio station in L.A. And I believe this had something to do with independent artists. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. It's a certain radio station out there that's taking. I'll say allegedly, but I actually do know. You know what I'm saying? And I know a couple of artists that they've done it to. You know what I mean? Like close friend artists that they've done it to. And I was putting that out there because I know some people who are going out there to it, and you're basically, what they do is you go out, you pay a fee to perform, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? It's nothing behind that. It's
You pay the artist.
Yes,
pay
the
a-
artist paid to you're gonna pay to get there. You're gonna pay to stay there, and you're gonna pay to perform.
And so the radio station gives them a promise that that's going to help them or something in the future, or what?
No,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's like
Okay.
what am I doing that for?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I would rather go to the studio and put time into making a record, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And putting it out myself than going to perform in a certain city. I'm not even going to say the city. And there's no promise after that. It's basically you're on vacation after that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like
Yes.
that'd be like you get me here, and you know what I'm saying. Like, but this ready, like this interview, it you know what I'm saying. Like it gives me promotion, things of that nature.
Uh-huh.
But coming to perform at a venue for a radio station for what 3 minutes? How listen to like the normal length of a song, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And there's no incentive to, okay, after you do this, I'm going to send you down to this platform or whatever to perform. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your song again at this time, and then you know what I mean. It's just like nothing to it that's going to get you to another level. There's nobody there that's going to discover you. It's just a ploy for that station or that promoter to make money.
Okay. Marcus, we are at the end of our show. We're going
Gotcha.
to have you come back and we do
No
some more
problem.
conversation.
No problem.
How about that?
No problem.
I thank you for traveling to come here
You're
and be with
welcome.
me today.
You're
and we'll talk back again with you on the show, okay?
No problem.
All right. Thank you for tuning in. Chat City with P. Ross on Oak 93.5 WRLY here in Raleigh. Join us again next week. Enjoy your weekend and be safe.